Question 16. Select 4 different whole numbers between 1 and 9 inclusive so that their mean is 6 and their range is 5. So I need to make sure that I have different whole numbers, so I can't repeat any numbers, and it's 1 and 9 inclusive, so I can use the numbers 1 and 9. So we're talking about averages here, so we need to remember the averages song, which goes something like this. Hey diddle diddle, the median's the middle, you add then divide for the mean. The mode is the one that you see the most, and the range is the difference between. So the mean, you have to add, then divide. So you add up all of the numbers and then divide by however many numbers there are. The range is the difference between. So then you should have the biggest, take away the smallest number. So we have a mean of 6 here, so we need to make sure we have the correct total of numbers. So because the total, when it's divided, when it's added all up and then divided by however many numbers there are, and we need to have 4, that should equal 6. So we need to figure out what our numbers need to total up to. We can do the inverse operations here. So instead of dividing by 4, we times by 4. So therefore 6 times 4 is 24. So we know that the total must equal to 24. Okay, so now we need to start figuring out some numbers. The range is the easier one to start with, and if you make some mistakes, you'll still get some marks. So if you get the range equal to 5, the examiner will give you a mark. And if you have your total adding up to 24, the examiner will also give you 1 mark. So let's start with our smallest numbers then. So we've got, let's start with number 1. If our smaller number was number 1, then our biggest number, they need to have a difference of 5. So our biggest number is going to be 6, because I know that 6 take away 1 is 5. So I'm just going to write that here. The range is 5. So far I've got that correct. Just going to fill in the other 2 numbers now. I'm going to go with the bigger ones. Okay, so if I add these up then, 1, 4, 5 and 6, that makes 16. So we know that the mean, you have to add them up, which makes 16, and then divide by however many there are. Divided by 4, and my mean for it to be correct should equal 6. 16 divided by 4 is not 6, so those numbers are incorrect. And I've chosen numbers that are too small here, because the total should have added up to 24. So I'm going to try the other end of the scale now, and I'm going to use the biggest number. So instead of 6, I'm going to use the biggest number I can choose, which is 9. So then for the range to equal 5, 9 take away what will give you 5? 9 take away 4 is 5. So now my range is correct. And then I'm just going to fill in the other 2 numbers. So I'm going to choose the bigger ones. Okay, so now when I add those up, I should come to 28. And then the total needed to divide by however many numbers there are. So divided by 4, and that should equal 6. But 28 divided by 4 doesn't equal 6. So I've chosen the wrong numbers here again. So let's try again. So we've got 28. But we needed this number to be 24. So all I have to do now is take away 4. So if I keep my largest number the same and my smallest number the same, that still gives me a range of 5. And as I said, I needed to take away 4, so I could take away 2 from here to give you 5, and 2 from here to give you 6. And then when I add those up, that will give me 24. So 24 divided by 4, however many numbers there are, now equals 6. So I have the range of 5 and the mean of 6. So as I said, the examiner will give you 1 mark for each of these. Well, they'll give you a mark if you have a range of 5, sorry. If you've made a mistake here and you've totaled it to 24, they'll give you a mark there. But we have the range of 5 and the mean of 6, so 4 marks.